Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. I believe this is episode 23.
We believe so, yes, but who gives a fuck?
None of that matters. It's the Christmas episode.
It's fucking Christmas.
This is like our work's Christmas party.
Exactly, and I'm just making it worth our while for being explicit on all the podcasting things, you know, because you can't access it on iTunes if you've got like content lock. So fuck, shit, piss, and that gets out of the way.
Yeah, that's demonetized on YouTube. Fantastic.
Just beep, beep, beep. It'll be fine.
That's a lot. That'd be a lot of beeping. I would have to go through and add a lot of beeping. So for those that are listening to us on feeds rather than watching us, you won't appreciate the wonderful Christmas hats that we're wearing.
Or Levi's beautiful Christmas shirt.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Are you talking about the actual Christmas shirt or this wonderful Guitar Souls t-shirt?
Oh, well, I mean, maybe it could be both.
They are both beautiful.
Absolutely, and what a perfect Christmas present. Available right now on Teespring.
Teespring. I don't think you'd get it in time for Christmas now, though. So
just make it a late Christmas present, or an early next year's Christmas present, or a New Year present. Who knows?
On the subject of t-shirts, we decided to do a giveaway, right?
Yes, let's do it.
So we are going to... we don't have them in stock, so it's not like we can literally just pick two of them and send them to you. But we are going to take two t-shirts. Should it be for one person or two separate people?
Do two separate. Let's go for it.
Two separate people.
Two chances.
And we will purchase them from Teespring and have them shipped to you. So all we are requesting for you to be entered in for this possible winning of the greatest t-shirt of all time would be to share our podcast, share the YouTube video or whatever on some sort of social media. So that might be Facebook, that might be Twitter, that might be Reddit. Hint, do Reddit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and leave us a comment below. Let us know what you enjoy about the show, maybe what you don't enjoy about the show, but more importantly, tell us why you deserve to wear a t-shirt with our faces on it.
Yep. Consider yourself the Ed Gein of clothes. Both our faces adorned to your body. Bespoke just for you. So
yeah, should we get on to more Christmas festivities?
Yeah,
because we've got some Christmas crackers here.
Let's do it. I mean, Ed Gein's not very Christmassy, so I think a Christmas cracker's a better shout.
Let's pull the Christmas crackers.
Let's do it. Apologies if this is loud, anyone.
If you won that one.
Sorry, excuse
We've
me.
got 6 crackers here, but we'll pull 2 in the hopes that I win one.
What do snowmen wear on their heads? Ice caps. Next.
I won. Okay,
that was good. That was good.
Did it bang? Might have banged. Cool. Let's read a Christmas joke for you.
Let's do it.
Why did the germ cross the microscope?
I don't know.
To get to the other slide. I mean, that's nothing to do with Christmas.
These weren't even cheap ones. I specifically got decent ones because I thought we'd get decent content.
This is an outrage.
Right, you know what? I'm going to sue Tesco, which is where I bought them from, by the way, because they've ruined the show.
What have you got planned for Christmas?
Just spend it with family. I'm going to go and see Nancy's family, and then I'm going to see my own family. So I'm going to have 2 Christmas dinners because I'm really greedy. What about you?
I am going to have 3 Christmas dinners because I am even greedier. No, yeah, we're going to go to Hayley's parents' house and then come here and eat Christmas stuff. They were pretty shit Christmas crackers, Mike. Well done. I was hoping. Are there any nice gifts in them?
No.
Oh,
what did you get? I got a puzzle. You got
golf tees.
Golf tee. Fantastic.
Because who doesn't love to play a bit of golf at Christmas?
Yep. I mean, the best thing about them is probably this.
Yeah.
They're quite nice. They look good. That's why I bought them. But well.
All right. Let's ramp it up.
Who cares about these? Oh,
for Christmas.
Thank you very much. Your presents are in the kitchen.
Open it. We got Mike a little present.
You've taped like all the bits that I can open it from.
I'm sorry.
It's alright.
I've taken my hat off.
I didn't realise he was going to make me open a gift on fucking video because I was going to be nice to him. Oh. Fuck off. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Open it up.
You're fucking right, I will. Oh, baby. Unboxing video. Oh my goodness. A Revv GT. Thanks very much, man.
There's some Haribo in there.
Fuck the pedal. I'm eating Haribo. No, that's like way too much, man. Thank you very much.
Well, you know, they are supporters of the show now. So
fantastic.
Yes. So a huge thank you to Revv for helping me out to get my pedal as fast as humanly possible in time for Christmas. We are both really, really big fans of the Revv stuff.
Also, that'll be why when I was telling you I absolutely must get one, you're like, oh, hold off.
Wait till New Year. Wait till New Year.
Oh my God, I'm actually shaking a wee bit.
Good.
Thank you very much, man.
You deserve it. You've had a hard couple of months, so.
Aye. Nothing that lots of distortion won't fix.
Exactly. I got the Revv G3 pedal, and we played with that, and you thought it was great. I obviously thought it was great as well.
I don't think it's great. It is great. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I've also got a Revv Generator 120 on the way. Which we're making a bit of a Guitar Souls amp. It should have our disgusting faces on it as well. So genuine like big fans of the Revv stuff. So you should head on over to their website, check them out. They have just, we're going to talk about it in a second, they have just, I put Revv G4 at the end, but obviously I'm going to put that at the start. It's just to, throw you off the scent, of course. They have just released a G4 pedal, but the G3 is fantastic. I've not played the G4 yet. Hopefully I'll get to play one of those soon. Yet. Hopefully it will come. But yeah, honestly, just a very, very, very impressive company that somehow have managed to get an incredible amp sound into a pedal. And that thing really sounds amazing, whether you're playing it like in the front of an amp or into a modular or into the power amp section of an amp. I've got the Laney, as you know, as all of these guys know, because it sits in the back of my videos. But for the most part, for the last year or so, I've just been using my Fender Bassman, which is awesome. But you don't get a lot of overdrive out of that, and I don't have any super high gain dirt pedals, so when that turned up, I was like, you know what, let's stick it in front of the Fender and see how it turns out, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. It just turned it into a mega high gain amp. I
blew it
was
to bits.
Absolutely blown away by it. So yes, huge thank you to Revv.
Thank you to Levi. Thanks very much, man.
They are friends and supporters of the channel, and peace guys. G4. Do you want one of those now?
I mean, I want a generator as well. Like I was saying to you, we were talking, and Levi obviously has his on order. And I was like, I would love to get my hands on one of those as well. They sound ridiculous. So maybe I'll need to start saving up.
Yeah. Or you could just, take mine, because I probably won't go anywhere with it, will I?
Can you imagine me turn up to gigs and turn up with this amp and it's got our faces on it? That'd be great.
Yeah, no, awesome. Check out the G4 pedal. Fluff has just uploaded a video of him demoing it.
Yeah, we checked out. I need to take this hat off, man. I'm sweating my guts out. Hold on a wee minute. Sorry.
Well, I'm not going to be disappointing. I'm going to keep the hat on.
I'm going to put it back on, but my face is like beetroot. Look at me. Like, I look like fucking Santa.
I was thinking that when you came into the house, it would be thoroughly disappointing if at no point in your life, that's actually quite clever, I like that, if at no point in your life you didn't dye your beard white to be Santa one year. You should do that. When I have kids, if you could be Santa, that would, I mean, my wife has a deep attraction to Santa, so probably not the best idea, but all she wants for Christmas every year is for me to dress up as Santa. She wants me to dress up as Santa.
You shouldn't reveal this.
And I won't do it. I'm just being sensible about this, right? It's not because I won't buy a Santa outfit. It's because I know what will come with dressing as Santa. It will be endless sex, which I know sounds terrible. That sounds awful. Nobody would want that. But the point is, you don't want to condition your brain anytime you're dressed as Santa to get an erection, because that would be really awkward when you have kids.
Yes, not comfortable. That's a really objective way to look at it. I like that. Being
pragmatic. Again. So you'll have to be her Santa fantasy for her.
Fantasy.
Exactly. But as we were saying,
let's move on.
The Revv G4 is based on the Red channel on the generator amps.
Yes.
Which is the most dirty channel.
Well, even just from Fluff's video, you don't see too much of him other than obviously going through certain settings, but even the amount of gain that you can go back to almost nothing, but still getting quite a lot of crunch, all the way up to ridiculous, really, really thick saturated gain sounded great, and that was just one video.
Yeah. We get to throw all the cliches out there, or at least he got to throw out all the cliches out there. It's built like a tank. It really cleans up nicely when you roll back on the volume. All those things that you expect people to.
Glassy cleans.
Yeah.
Thick, harmonic, sustained distortion.
Yeah, punchy mids.
etc. But no, it looks like a fucking killer pedal. If it's anything like the G3, it's going to be a monster.
Yeah. So head on over to Revv, check them out. They are good people. Of course they are. They're Canadian. We like Canadians. We've got some more Canadians to look at shortly. So with that out of the way, why don't we deal with the harp machine?
Hopeless target. So obviously we spoke about the harp machine before in there. Ludicrous is the only term I can use. Ludicrous request for £33,000 as a flexible goal to record their new album. For those of you who are not aware of the story, people who might have not watched any more of the podcast or listened to the podcast, or who don't know who the Heart Machine are, they're a band who were quite famously known for basically the band leader and guitarist Al Moomin, and people having a lot of problems with them, such as people being left behind on tour, or allegations of such, and just apparently being notoriously difficult to work with, and a bit of a controversy around about whether he can actually play the songs that he says he can play or not. And I mean, there's videos where, in my opinion, before anybody decides they're going to sue me, there is no chance it's a real guitar. I mean, it's absolutely the Guitar Pro RSE, like absolutely undeniably.
You know, I've learnt the important thing with a situation like this. Don't do the absolutely undeniably. You just clarify. That's my opinion.
I just say that's my opinion. I'm just absolutely my opinion that there is no guitar on some of the tracks. However, I like the writing. Anyway, lots of controversy around about the band, etc. And they've come out of nowhere again, despite having like no band members. Kind of like the Faceless, that same kind of drama of, oh, we've got new members, they miss 5 gigs, everyone's gone. Oh, we've got new members, endless cycle of not playing gigs. So the Heart Machine have returned to ask for £32,999 as a flexible goal.
Oh, we'll come on to that.
Towards their newest album.
It's interesting, really, because what's the money for? You've demonstrated that it's all recorded. It's all done. What do you need the money for?
I mean, more importantly, what the fuck do you need £33,000 for of recording?
Yeah. There's a clip in the promo video where Al is stood by what I assume is the Thames. And he talks about helping us move forward and helping us get away from our old, from our past and stuff. You guys are helping us to do that. There is almost no doubt in my mind that this is to buy them out of a contract.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because you don't need.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, yeah. But you know, it looks like everything's turning out all right because the campaign's only got 16 days left. Mm-hmm. Only got 16 days
55
left.
backers, 55 very naive people, and I mean this with no disrespect to you, but a fool and his money are easy partied.
Yep.
And they're sitting currently at I mean, they're nearly at the target. They're close. £1,730.
Yeah,
now
only 30,000 to go.
That's it. Pocket change.
But you made mention of flexible funding, right?
That's my problem with it,
yes.
And I knew you would be the same.
Oh yes.
Now, for those of you who don't understand Indiegogo or those other kind of crowdfunding sites, the idea is you will have a fixed or a flexible goal, and a flexible goal basically means any money donated towards them they keep, regardless whether they hit the target or not. So they've asked for £33,000, which made me laugh out loud, genuinely go, like, what planet do you exist on? Like, do you have the same comprehension skills as the rest of us on this planet here? Because obviously not. But those who have gave money, don't get me wrong, I mean, if you get the album out and that's what you wanted, that's fair enough, because as it shows here, from like £10 upwards, the perks, as they call them, as you buy the album. But they still get to keep that money, despite not hitting the target. And
crowdfunding is amazing and terrible at the same time.
yes,
You have to, as a consumer, be very, very, very careful when you decide to crowdfund something. And most of the things that I've crowdfunded have been video games.
that's cool.
When I say crowdfund, I don't mean I've made video games.
No,
I mean contributed
towards, yeah.
The things that I've crowdfunded myself started have obviously been the first Hellcat Molly album. I believe that was a flexible goal, but I had been, it was a flexible goal, but I'd specified in the campaign story
Where the money was
essentially going. Like, you know, if I don't quite hit what I want, then I'll cut this and I'll cut this.
Which is how it should be. You're asking people to believe in your image and your goal, or your the picture in your mind and your goal, and you're setting them clear expectations that they should have as to what you're going to do with the money if you make certain targets.
Yes.
And where you're going to, obviously you don't want to cut back on the production value of the album, whereas you could save on other things. But I don't personally see anything here. I mean, I've not read through it since we last spoke about it and really went through it in depth, but I don't think there is any real, we need this money for this and to do this and to do that, and this is the case.
The thing is, they're obviously not going to get funded. Of course they're not going to get funded.
Deservedly.
Yeah, totally
in my
deservedly.
opinion.
But that one you're allowed to say deservedly too.
Yeah.
Why do I have so much experience in shit like this? So
Because you make inflammatory comments and people call you out on it because you call them out on things too.
call spades spades. That's what it's the thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there is a long history of crowdfunding of things either not getting funded with flexible funding goals and the projects never being made. But more importantly, there are plenty of examples of crowdfunded things where the project was fully funded and the product still never got made.
Or even more so, like they made 4, 5, 6 times their target and still never got anywhere. That's the reason I don't think I've actually put money towards anything on a crowdfund.
And as you know, I've just recently got into board games, right?
Yes.
And I'm seeing one of those prime examples of why you should back things when you have the opportunity to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
But also why you shouldn't back things. So I remember Kendo sent me a link to the Terminator board game that was being made. Yeah, which was really cool, and I was really, really excited about that. And I thought, wow, I could maybe get this. And literally, the only reason I didn't was because I knew the reason Kendo posted it on my wall is so I would buy it, so he wouldn't have to. So, you know what I mean? That's a reason to not buy it. That one, reason. I think, tripled their goal, and that never came out. It's never coming out either. Yeah. On the flip side, the Resident Evil board game, which I also saw when it was in its crowdfunding stage.
That sounds pretty interesting.
Super cool, mate. Cannot wait to play it with you guys. Honestly, like, of everything I've bought, that looks like the most fun. That smashed its target, of course. That's just started to be delivered to people like in the last couple of days. And yeah, if I want to buy all of the retail bits that are in it now at retail price, I'm looking at £180, where I could have got it for £70 on the Kickstarting. And
it's a risk, that's the thing.
But there's so much more to it. There's all the Kickstarter exclusives that there's no way that I'll ever be able to get unless I get the... Yeah. So,
there's always a way.
Yeah, eBay, sure. I dropped the ball yesterday. There's an environment pack for it that if you crowdfunded it, if you kickstarted it, you could add that on for like, I think it was £12.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one on eBay last night for £45, which is a lot of money for what it is. And I looked at it and was like, no, it's just too much. Can't agree with that price. And I sat with it on my screen for 5 minutes and then went, you know what? Fuck it, I'll buy it. And I hit buy it now, and it had gone. It gone. Like literally, because you can see when something sells on eBay, it literally went 6 seconds before I hit the buy it now button.
Jesus.
So people will pay these prices for things, and there's people that have the full set on eBay, and they're asking like £600 for the full set.
Jesus, I don't agree with that.
It's gouging.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. But at the same time, it's their things. They paid the money for
exactly.
it.
Yeah, and if people want to pay it, then cool. But yeah, so what I guess I'm getting at is you have to be very careful and very cautious as somebody that puts money into a Kickstarter. If you are now looking at this heart machine thing and thinking, okay, yeah, I might put some money into this, think very carefully what that flexible funding goal means, and think if they get £2,000, what's going to happen? You are not getting the thing. You're never going to get the thing that you were promised.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 16 days to throw that money away elsewhere.
Yeah.
Play
on a Guitar Souls t-shirt.
Perfect. Beautiful. Or get yourself a nice wee Revv G3 or G4.
Yeah.
And there's some beautiful things you can buy with money, you know?
Yeah, some amazing things that will actually turn up. Mm-hmm. So if you are a backer of that, if you're one of the 55 backers, we would love to hear from you. I would encourage you to do whatever you can to get that pledge cancelled.
Jesus.
I would. You're just losing money. And there are too many people that... I follow a fair few guys on YouTube that cover like Kickstarter scammers. Projects all across the board, from video games, board games, electronic devices, like you name it, they cover it. And too many people just get stung by these things.
Oh yeah, and it's always the ones you see. It's like new super innovative Bluetooth headset with no wires, and they recharge on this dock, or like it's always things that you're like, of course it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Not always, sorry, but the most of the time, like unless you're really skeptical when it comes to technology or what this is actually selling you, there's not the actual product doesn't have the convenience that it's sold as.
Yeah.
Realistically. So unless you're really quite cautious and skeptical like us.
Yeah.
Probably closer to like fucking, I don't even know, misanthropic.
Yeah, so forget Ha 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 Machine. They won't be going anywhere with this. It's a shame, actually, because Steve Woodcock is playing bass for them. And this is, I guess, the other thing that kind of bugs me. Like, Steve Woodcock, he's a good bass player on the London scene. He's played with quite a few bands. He's close with Martin Goulding, played bass for Lineosphere, who are a great band. Like, everyone should go and check out the Man Vantara album. That's a really cool, like, fusion metal album. Super cool. Steve's a good player, and by all accounts a really nice guy. In the video to this, where him and the drummer and the vocalist they talk about the Heart Machine, they keep using the word we, us, help us, we need. You don't need anything, Steve. You're throwing your name behind this like this is your thing, but this is absolutely Al's project. You're using your name to try and help him generate £33,000, of which he's not going to get, and that's goodwill that you're using up. Like, it's a shame that other people are being dragged into this mess. I think that's the way I look at it.
I like that. I think, in my opinion, that's how I see it.
I'm very careful with this stuff nowadays.
Yeah, I understand. So, I suppose to summarise, neither of us have any real belief that what's going to happen with the Heart Machine album 2 regarding this funding is actually going towards anything to do with the album. Maybe a little bit of marketing, potentially pre-ordering CDs, but I mean, that's pretty much what people have done, you know.
Shame.
Yeah, okay.
So looking at the rest of the things we're talking about today, we didn't do a rundown of the things we're talking about, so people are just going to be surprised as they happen.
Ha! That's the nature of Christmas, it's all about surprises.
Yes. I'm so happy I surprised you.
You fucking did.
Yeah, so the running theme of today essentially seems to be rich guitar players, people that make a lot of money, right?
Yes.
So yeah, let's move on to terrible journalism. So this got posted on Charlie posted this on Facebook. I saw this and was like, oh, the top 15 richest metal guitarists in the world. Metallica guitarist at the top. There's a picture of Tony Iommi and Kirk Hammett. And this website, Metalhead Zone, I don't encourage you to go to their website and check shit out, just based on the quality of this piece of journalism.
Wait a wee minute. What? Latest news. Guns N' Roses members share their first reactions to Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
Also, Guns N' Roses members shares, not share. It's either Guns N' Roses member shares or Guns N' Roses members share. Sort it out, lads.
Behave yourselves.
It's bad because it's like I'm being a grammar Nazi, right? But
no, I don't think there is such a thing as a grammar Nazi. This is
journalism. You're writing for a living, or at least trying to write for a living. So let's read it. It's questionable. Heavy metal was no longer in its strength and popularity, but was once the world's most listened music. Especially in the 1980s, metal bands had a huge fortune. If we want to count the richest metal bands in history, we can count them as Metallica, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, and Slipknot. We listed the top 10 richest heavy metal guitarists in the world with net worth. Here is the list. So, already...
As that's broken, by the way, like, Levi's not just, like, hamming that up. It is that broken.
Yes. So, it's a list of 15 guitar players. And according to this, these are the 15 richest guitar players in the world. Metal guitar players. Very specific metal guitar players. Kerry King at number 15 with $8 million. Doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised he's not got more than that.
Fuck that guy.
Put Slayer on anything and sell it.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. The problem with this article that we're essentially going to get to is that we can think of people metal guitar players that are richer than this, therefore these people should be bumped back. And we'll do that when we get to the end. John Petrucci, also $8 million. I also like they didn't put any numbers on this. It's literally just their names.
Yeah. It's just a list.
Zoltan Bathory.
So he's worth more money than John Petrucci. And Kerry King.
Yeah, questionable, right?
Very questionable.
Yeah. Five Finger Death Punch are extremely successful. So
yeah, I'm not saying they are, but
that's
given they're not anywhere near as successful or as tenured as Slayer.
Yeah. So
to make out that they have more money would be, to me, incredibly questionable.
Head from Korn with $10 million.
Did Head not give away most of his wealth when he turned into this crazy Christian? Not crazy, sorry, that sounds really dismissive. But when he became a newborn.
A newborn? You mean a born again?
Born again Christian, sorry. Yes, something along those lines. I don't know why I'm googling it. I don't know. It's not going to have his fucking what he's worth on
Let's
fucking
just power through
Wikipedia.
this. Mark Morton, $10 million. Lamb of God's guitarist.
I can imagine Lamb of God have done quite well.
Yeah.
Unless they all chipped in to help Randy Blythe with all the legal fees.
The thing is, like, I'm not actually even questioning the numbers here. Well, the only thing I'm questioning is all the guitar players that they've obviously missed out. Like, Mark Morton is placed at, what would that be?
5th.
15, 14,
Oh,
13,
15, sorry.
12,
11.
The 11th richest metal guitar player in the world. Like, it's Mark Morton from Lamb of God. Like, I'm sure he's doing all right, but the 11th richest metal guitar player in the world, I don't see it. Zakk Wylde, $16 million.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be extremely rich. There's no doubt about that. He's writing credits with Ozzy. All of his own recordings, obviously, but he also has his own empire of endorsement deals and an empire of his own products now. Like,
Yep, his own company. He's
Black Label Society merch sells.
Yeah, even outside of like the music stuff, he's got the Valhalla Java, the really really strong coffee.
Yeah, he did hot sauces back in the day as well. Like,
no, he's done well for himself.
yeah,
Good
he'll
on
put
him.
his name on things and sell it. So it's kind of like Kerry King, but slightly more acceptable.
Also, not a complete dick,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm learning.
actually, totally true. I met when I met and interviewed Zach, he was one of the nicest guys I've ever dealt with. So he was a lot of fun, actually.
You were definitely fangirling, weren't you?
I've met so many of my heroes and interviewed them, and Zach, I never ever got even close to fangirling. But Zach was one of those where I was like, this is otherworldly.
Starstruck. I can
He was
imagine.
super cool.
To be fair.
Mm.
So
Dave Murray, Iron Maiden.
16 million.
Yeah.
Then next is Sinister Gates with 16 million. I can't see, despite how popular Avenged Sevenfold are being as financially successful as Dave Murray, considering Avenged Sevenfold have been popular for what, 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
And Iron Maiden have been going for what, 40?
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had a number one in the pop charts, or just the charts in general, with Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, as well as quite a lot of, I think even Brave New World was number one.
Oh, and also
album
you're
when it
talking
came out
about a
as well.
band that were huge at a time when albums actually sold.
Yes.
We live in a time now where if you release a new album and it sells 50,000 copies, that's a massive success.
Well, I mean, even think about the level of showmanship that goes into their stage shows for Iron Maiden. Giant eddies, fucking tanks, guns going off. Like, it's huge.
And we're also ignoring the fact that there are 3 guitar players in Iron Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Dave topping the list?
Maybe he invested best.
Again, though, I feel we're missing the point a little bit because we're questioning the actual numbers here rather than when we get to the end thinking of all the people that they've missed out from this list that definitely have more money than these people.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Malakian, System of a Down, $20 million. That's a lot of money.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe he's obviously done really well with the System of a Down stuff. Was huge for it's like right at the peak of when album sales were hot and were just before they dip off, you know.
Yes.
So there's no doubt that he made a lot of money. Mick Thompson, $20 million. You know, I checked this. I didn't check Mick Thompson. I checked Jim Root because Mick Thompson generally doesn't get any writing credit with Slipknot. He's not one of the writers. He's a turn up and do your job kind of guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's well in the early days it was Joey doing a lot. It's Joey and Paul doing a lot of the writing. Neither of whom are with the band anymore for slightly different reasons.
Just slightly.
Yeah. Jim Root was writing. Clown was writing. Corey was writing. But generally speaking, Mick wasn't a big writer for the band.
Mm-hmm.
So Jim Root to be listed as 9 million and Mick Thompson to be listed as 20 million is a shocking one to me, actually.
Well, I think Mick Thompson got the limelight because he had the cooler persona, and obviously he had signature Ibanez, etc.
Jim's also got other bands.
Yeah, I know, and he's now get a lot of endorsements, obviously through Orange as well as Fender, and his own Squire as well. Like, it doesn't make sense, but okay.
Mick Mars, 40 million.
That would make sense. I mean, I can imagine Mick Mars just living on top of a pile of drugs and money and women and guitars.
Yeah, good for him. KK Downing, 40 million.
What about Glenn Tipton?
Adam Jones from Tool, 40 million. Those guys are rolling in it, but I do question that number.
Yeah, that's quite big.
Yeah, Tony Iommi, $140 million.
That's quite a lot. But it could be right. Again, the size of the band, the tenure.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that he's worth $140 million. Like, yeah.
Well, you think about even like his limited signature Laney amp. I think they were like $5,500 or something because they're all point-to-point hand wired and shit, and people still bought them.
Yeah.
So fair play.
And then number 1, Kirk Hammett, $200 million.
You made a very interesting revelation. We try not to speak about the topics too much before we film, so it's nice and organic, and you guys aren't getting us having a recycled conversation. But Levi had mentioned this and said, well, I mean, I really question it because...
Where's James Hetfield?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're telling me that Kirk Hammett is worth more money than James Hetfield, and let's be super specific, right? Not only is Kirk Hammett worth more than James Hetfield, but James Hetfield isn't even on this list.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean that James Hetfield isn't even worth $8 million.
I believe that with all the writing credits from Metallica, who are easily the biggest metal band outside of like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath on Earth. I really believe that. You know what it'll be? Kirk's amazing revolutionary pedals.
Yeah, what happened to those?
Are they gone?
Did they ever exist? Did they appear? Doesn't matter, just buy a Revv.
Just get one of these. At least that way you'll actually have something that doesn't just go over the top of bad notes.
It's just, so this is just shoddy journalism.
My opinion.
Like the pinnacle of shoddy journalism. Clickbait bullshit articles.
Oh, it's BuzzFeed.
It's worse than BuzzFeed because although BuzzFeed
doesn't have party cannon on it.
This is just wrong. BuzzFeed posts shit that I think is stupid, but this is wrong. Like, so the game is, can you name me guitar players that should be metal guitar players that should be on this list that aren't?
Dave Mustaine.
Bingo. I checked that one. 20 million.
Fair play to him. He's doing well.
Yep.
Metal guitarists.
We said James Hetfield, obviously. But
yeah, well, I mean, we've spoken about him. Well, Adrian Smith and Yannick Gers from Iron Maiden. Another two that haven't got a mention, as you said.
Yep. Basically, what I want all these artists that we can use to push Kerry King as low as possible.
Or we could just ask them all to we'll start a crowdfund and get them to build a giant trebuchet that we can throw them into the sun with.
Yeah. I guess the question is, who do you think really is the richest metal guitar player of all time?
The richest metal guitarist of all time?
Or is it alive today? In the world, so I guess that implies alive. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Hetfield.
I think that could be right, but maybe Kirk Hammett's got a lot of value because of the amount of like guitars that he owns that are worth money. Did he not buy all of Gary Moore's? He
did, but like I've
collection.
I'm not estimating on this. I've checked the Kirk Hammett, James Hetfield. James Hetfield is worth 100 million more than Kirk Hammett. So
yeah, no doubt. I just mean like that's maybe
Kirk is totally worth a lot. There's no there's no denying that. But yeah, can we? I really did. I sat and thought about it for a long time, and yeah, James Hetfield. I cannot think of any metal band that's like bigger than Metallica, and therefore would make more money than Metallica. Can't do it. But if anyone in the comments section can.
Sabbath and Iron Maiden are the only two other bands I can think of, but even then I think the amount of stuff that Metallica put out and the fact that like they've toured for 3 years on the trot, and that was like 20-30 years ago, and they're still popular.
Yeah,
that shit astounds me.
It doesn't matter how big Sabbath were. I think it comes down to where most of the money comes from in a situation like this is your publishing rights.
Oh yeah.
And Metallica were famous for not splitting those equally among everybody, right? With bass players not getting involved on writing credits, and
really the writing credits are literally just Lars and James.
Yeah,
for
there's moments
everything
where on the early albums where Kirk's name pops up as credited, but
and
that's
I think Cliff got some,
from.
But obviously you can't really pay royalties to someone posthumously.
Yeah, so when you compare, Tony Iommi to Metallica, those were which writing credits would you rather have? Which ones are going to generate you the money? And it's Metallica, time and time again.
You're right. I think they were the first band that really took the model and run with it.
Yeah,
they're the perfect example of music business.
Yeah,
except obviously all the drugs and falling out and bad albums
and suing Napster and Napster bad.
Good. I don't know that was really bad.
Oh, the good old days. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, just to speculate as to who the richest metal guitar player is. Maybe someone in the comments will tell us somebody that is worth more. The difficult thing with this is trying to work out what you define metal as,
Yes,
because I was looking at this and I was like, well, Steve Vai's got to be on this list somewhere because he's worth a fortune, an absolute fortune, but then he's not a metal guitar player. Slash should be on it.
Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen's worth 100 million. I checked that.
Okay.
But evidently these guys don't class them as metal, but evidently they classed Mick Mars as metal, so...
Which is new metal, but it's derivative.
80s... Difficult one.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments below if you can think of anyone that is worth more money. But on the subject of Slash, they made a lot of money, didn't they?
They've done alright. Why is he not on the list? Because I mean, think about the money that must be split between them, and that's...
Not metal.
No, okay,
yeah.
okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have put him on the list, but metal is such a specific word that means a lot of different things to different people.
Specific but completely non-specific at the same time.
A metal fan would never call Slash a metal guitar player.
No,
but
it's classic rock.
My mum would absolutely say that Guns N' Roses are a metal band. You know, they play that loud music. So I guess it depends who's writing the article. Either way, idiots over at that website. I can't even remember your name, and that's the way it should be. Kirk Hammett is, funnily enough, not worth more than James Hetfield. I should also just point out, I read the comments because I thought the comments would be funny. And top comment is, how did Kirk make the list but James didn't? And saying that KK is worth 40 million, yet just recently had to sell his golf course and sell rights to his songs. And they're desperately trying to defend all of this stuff. Desperately in the comments. And I mean, I can't even...
Bharat Gopal... Rajagopalan,
yeah,
because the name of the article writer. Wait a minute, my favourite here, just completely off topic before we move on, is the title of this fucking article: Rock legend John Bon Jovi reveals the greatest of them all. The greatest what?
What does this mean?
That's just fucking gobbledygook. It's word soup.
Tool drummer reveals a big commitment about new album.
Yep, he had to learn how to play the drums for it.
Smashing Pumpkins frontman claims the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is anti-heavy metal.
I mean, it's called Rock and Roll, not the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame.
Also,
dick.
what does it matter to Billy Corgan? He's not a metal guitar player.
He doesn't even really write grunge. It's like heavy pop music.
Yeah. Anyway. Talking about Slash and Guns N' Roses, the second highest grossing tour ever. Ever. Yeah. Astonishing. Absolutely astonishing.
Well, let's think of, like, in fact, let's just be honest with how much this was on metalsucks.net, and just to read out what they say. According to Polestar, the tour took in 82.4 million in 2018, added to its already impressive $475 million cumulative gross from dates in 2016 and 17. By my math, not mine's, Axel Rosenberg, the article writer from Metal Sucks, who said some very questionable things about women of underage for consent. Just to say, just to put that out there, that's things that have been put online. Obviously, just look it up if you want.
Okay.
By my math, that means the tour has taken in $557.4 million to date, but Blabbermouth says the actual number is $562 million.
I need to jump in here and get more clarification on this Axel Rosenberg character without falling into defamation land.
Okay.
But so comments about underage girls. So you're telling me that we should trust his maths? Is this a guy that can't work out how many times 20 should go into 15?
Was that a pedo joke?
Yeah, it was.
That frightened me.
I also don't know how old he is. So let's say 40. How many times 40 goes into 15?
Now, Axel Rosenberg, I believe, is maybe I'm just clutching straws here, but I don't think that's his real name.
Okay,
I may be wrong.
I see what he's done there.
Aha. Okay. But no, like, I think there was a thing that came up with someone had a problem with Metal Sucks and went through all his comments, and he made some really questionable comment about women underneath the age of consent, and I don't remember the exact context or the sentence, but it was pretty questionable. If you want to look that up, you're welcome to. I don't know if that makes him good or bad at maths, to be honest. I just thought it was a good passing comment.
Yes. So that's a lot of money.
That's silly money. That is, if we go by the Blabbermouth number, $562 million. That from a tour. But here you go. What?
Well, two buts. One, apparently U2's 360 tour made more. Apparently it grossed mere money. I mean, and also again, quality journalism with no actual information on how much more.
Yeah. I mean,
just me.
Let's be fair. The second to last sentence is, "It's so anyway. Yeah, this band makes mad loot."
Yeah.
But again, we don't go to Metal Sucks expecting like ultra journalistic integrity. You know.
Apparently, that's what you come to the Guitar Souls for.
Aye, that's it. We're here just to fact check. Not.
But point is, I do look at this and I say 557.4 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but it's over 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, how much money will the next Avengers film make it in a weekend?
But then you need to take into consideration that this is obviously still the gross profit.
Uh-huh.
How much is a tour costing and expenses, etc., versus what it's going to cost to film that? Mm-hmm. If you're going to compare them together, I know you're saying like that's like instant gratification versus 3 years of hard work, but there's also a lot of hard work going into the tour. Into the film that takes time.
Yeah, well, totally. My point wasn't like it's a clear winner. I'm saying that there are other media forms that are just like making numbers like this seem small. How much money did Grand Theft Auto 5 make on its opening day?
Well, I don't know, but
it hit the billion.
That's frightening.
Was it a billion in the first day? But yeah, but I'm pretty confident it was either the first weekend or the first huge numbers. How much money has Red Dead Redemption 2 made?
Oh, fuck knows. I mean, really what you need to say is, why aren't Rockstar giving us money? Rockstar, why are you not giving us money?
Because I don't think either of us can comment on Red Dead Redemption 2 yet.
No.
You're not playing it?
I don't have any consoles. Bring it to PC, you bastards. I mean, you skipped us with Red Dead Redemption 1, which upset me. I did have an Xbox at the time, and I did play it, and I fucking loved it.
Get yourself a PlayStation, bastard. You don't have any time to play games, though, so...
Not really, no.
I'd give you the PlayStation I have upstairs, but I know you don't have any time to play games. So,
yeah, it can sit under my TV.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So
that changes next year when Finlay goes to school, though. My days off, I have days off.
Good.
Damn.
Yeah.
Free. I forgot what free time's like. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, kids.
Not even just. No. Like, I love spending time with Finlay. It's not. He doesn't like. It's not like he's a burden or like he takes all my time up, but. Between wanting to spend time with him and Nancy and all my other commitments and everything that's going on, it's like sometimes you get like a minute or two during the day before you go to bed and you're like, that was a great minute. I really, really enjoyed that.
This is our life, mate. This is just what happens. Yeah.
But that's what it costs to bring beautiful quality entertainment to the world. And you can support us going through this harrowing time by buying a beautiful Guitar Souls t-shirt. I mean, to be fair, it's really just going to cover the cost of our hosting and maybe a wee bit more.
I know, we hit that.
Oh, even better. Cool. So this is all pure profit. So fuck the Guns N' Roses. Like, you know what I mean? 557.4 million. Get some t-shirts in. Maybe we'll make $1 billion. Who knows?
Yeah, we've sold like 11 t-shirts, man. So.
Hello, work. Fuck off.
But you know, I say that as though it's like a negative thing. It's done the goal, which was to make sure the hosting was paid for another year, so,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, we're super happy.
Even selling one t-shirt would have been more than enough support. And thank you. Sorry, I don't remember your name. The person who even suggested the idea of t-shirts. We had thought about it, but hadn't really put it into play.
Yeah,
Chris.
We certainly talked about it.
Thank you.
Yes, so watch out, Guns N' Roses. We're coming for you. Do you know who else we should come for?
You tell me.
It's next on the list.
And okay. Joe Bonamassa.
It's half Joe Bonamassa, isn't it? It's half Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson and Epiphone.
Epiphone announces a well-appointed Joe Bonamassa ES 355.
Well appointed, I think, is where my problem comes in for this.
Yeah. Joe Bonamassa, he needed another signature guitar, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's it, because is it not like 6 signature completely different models?
Yeah. He had one just recently, I'm sure.
With no disrespect to Joe Bonamassa,
He's great.
He's a great player and he's very, very good. But how many guitars do you need to play the blues on?
Yeah.
Is that an asshole thing to say? Probably, but let's be fucking honest. It's not as if he's got like, this is my signature jazz guitar for when I play jazz, and this one's for when I play things that are nice and clean, and this one's a bit more rocky. He's fallen into the same trap as Slash. Look at all these different signature special guitars I've got to have the same fucking sound.
But also, more importantly, Joe Bonamassa is very well known for playing vintage gear on the road.
Yeah, true.
He takes out proper high-end vintage gear.
Mm-hmm.
So what is $1,000 Epiphone really like, are you playing that on stage? And if you are playing that on stage, are you playing that on stage because it's better than what you'd rather be playing, or is it a contractual obligation? Like, I just
don't see it happening. He seems like, I mean, he's such a like well-known gearhead.
It just summarises everything, all the problems I have with Joe Bonamassa. I think he's such a fabulous player, and he's so passionate about guitar and the blues. He's got a rich history of the blues, and he thoroughly understands all the nuance of different subgenres of blues. And yeah, honestly, he can play Danny Gatton style like no one else. Like, he's great. He genuinely is a great guitar player. He doesn't showcase all of that kind of thing in the stuff that he sells. And there is the problem. Joe Bonamassa isn't the problem. Joe Bonamassa fans are the problem. But that's not by accident. You know, he's marketed himself to doctors and lawyers. He's marketed himself to people that can afford to buy this stuff.
So that he can afford to buy vintage gear all the time.
He has an amazing collection of gear, and I'm extremely jealous of his collection of gear.
Does he not have multiple Dumbles?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
How? I know he's not a metal guitarist, but surely he'd be like number one on the list of just guitarists worth a fucking fortune.
Yeah, I checked out 20 million, I believe, if memory serves. It might have been 14 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's worth less than Kirk Hammett.
I'm not, because Kirk Hammett's got some writing credits that have lasted for 30 years, whereas Bonamassa, you know, how much of his writing credits are actually worth in the grand scheme of things?
That's fair. That's fair.
They're not chart toppers. So
I'm more thinking of just what he has, like, physically, and what it would be worth. But then again, some of the items are probably would be known as priceless, so you can't really value them.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't scoff to have his worth.
No, it'd be all right.
Yeah, but essentially, let's see what he says about it.
No, let's not. Yeah, let's do it.
I've always loved the look and sound of black 355 guitars.
Oh no!
This brings us to our Guitar Souls podcast page, where someone asked us, "What's your opinion on the I should say Joe Thiemann or Joe the Man?" Let's go with Joe the Man. What's
Joe,
your
you
opinion
are the man. Thank you.
on Eric Johnson syndrome? So that's all modelers are shit, and paint affects tone, and Scott Henderson's opinions on impulse responses, and how to play through Countdown. Well, we can't really answer on Countdown because I'm not entirely sure if you're talking about. So when you say Countdown to me, that obviously means the John Coltrane piece. To you, Mike?
The first thing I thought of was the beautiful British classic TV show Countdown and the theme for it.
Yeah.
So you can play that dead easy.
Yeah, unless you clarify, we can't really answer that one. But what are your thoughts on this elitist approach to paint effects tone? And we talked about paint effects tone.
We did when we spoke about Billy Corgan, who is admittedly clown shoes batshit insane. You know what I mean? Like,
I went into this a bit with Scott Henderson. Someone tagged Scott Henderson on my post, and Scott Henderson was trying to tell me that paint affects tone.
But was it hard restraining yourself not to say you are not making sense?
Well, he didn't so much say exactly paint affects tone, but he was trying to make that argument. So I tried to pin him down by saying, let's just get to the bottom of this, Scott. What sounds better, a red guitar or a green guitar?
I think paint affects tone is such a derivative of what people are trying to say. If your comment is that the thickness and material of a finish on certain types of wood will affect the tone, then you're right. A big thick polyurethane finish on a guitar doesn't resonate as much, if I've got that the right way around. It's going to have some effect, but let's be honest, the minute you plug it in and put distortion on it, that is so negligible that it doesn't matter.
0.001%.
Absolutely does not matter. Yeah. It's like saying the material of the base plate of a pickup makes a difference. It doesn't.
It does. But again, 0.00001%.
But that's it. Like, if you want to take it to that and say, like, it does have an effect, okay, point out that effect to me. Please tell me how you can change that. Yeah. It's that same fucking argument that James Randi put out talking about, like, high-end audio equipment, and had people A/B test monster cables and cheap cables, and then when it came to it and the guys all picked, he went, well, actually, none of you are right, because we didn't use cables. We soldered old coat hangers together, and that worked fine. You're all wrong, and your opinions are shit, and if you think that buying expensive cables means things sound better, you are a moron.
How did I not know about that? That's
James
amazing.
Randi is my favourite person in the world for just destroying people, but like scientifically, it's like scientific skepticism is the only way I can put it.
This makes me extremely... Is this the James Randi?
The James Randi, the person who has $1 million in his bank for anyone who can prove that they have psychic...
They stopped that. He stopped that offer.
Did he?
Yeah, there's a great documentary on him on YouTube, and I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think so.
It takes a turn towards the end, and he turns out to be a bit of an asshole. I forget the details. James Randi's gay, and there's his one of his house help. He's in a relationship with someone in his house help, and he's been like breaking the law in order to keep him in the country and stuff. And,
okay.
Yeah, and they sort of, it's a really interesting documentary on James and his history and everything, and then they just sort of drop all of this bombshell on Randy that we also know all of this. Like, what are your comments on this? And there's this look of like utter defeat on James's face where he's like, well, I've been trying to keep this secret for so many. Yeah, so nobody's perfect. James Randi is. He comes close.
I just mean in terms of, besides just personal problems,
Yeah.
we all have our problems. I think my point is that if you start to go down the rabbit hole of this makes a difference and that makes a difference and I can hear the difference, and you start on that, then...
So this is what I'd say. It all makes a difference, and it all makes a big difference. Even though that difference is 0.00001%, right? It makes a big difference because if you feel good about your tone, you play better.
That's different from paint effects tone.
It is different from paint effects tone, but I could also say that I do play better. I sound better on red guitars. If I genuinely feel red guitars sound better and they make me play better. It's not the paint, but it's a psychological effect induced by the paint.
Right, so you're talking about a placebo?
Yes.
Or a psychosomatic effect?
It's a placebo. The important thing is, and I'm not saying it's a placebo, I'm saying it's the placebo effect, and the effect is still there. So you may sound better on a red guitar because you believe you sound better on a red guitar.
Is that like positive Munchausen syndrome?
You could go there. I'm glad you threw a word like that at me because I'm currently going through and watching all of House again. You know?
Oh, fucking love House.
Yeah, I've got the
so good,
the
man.
entire DVD box set down. Well, season 1 to 6 down there, but it was on
Everything's
sale
Lucas.
on Amazon Prime, like £5 a season.
Oh my goodness!
So I just bought all 8 seasons.
Yes, my man. Yes.
And I've just been rinsing through those. In fact, if I click this button, it'll be right there somewhere. No, not there. That's EastEnders.
EastEnders.
There you go.
Levi.
Mate, it's the closest thing I get to being at home.
I'm going to import some Savoy for you.
Yeah, nothing would make me happier. If people want to send me gifts, there's of course my Amazon wish list, but then there's also just go to your local chip shop, get a Savoy, chuck it in the post. That'll make me happy.
Just imagine this. Like it's just an envelope, greasy as fuck.
Did I tell you about the time when I was working at Lick Library and I'd come up here and I'd stayed at Kendo's house and then I went back down south.
Was that the first time you were here or the second?
Second time.
Uh-huh.
Maybe the third. But just as a thank you for being so helpful, I just took a bunch of Lick Library DVDs and sent them up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Not expecting him to actually enjoy them, but just as I'm thinking about you. And he was like, "Oh, that's really kind of you. Thanks very much. What's your address? I'd like to send a parcel back." So I gave him my address.
Square sausage?
He sent me an all-day breakfast package.
Yes.
And a bottle of Buckfast, right?
That is the taste of Scotland, to be fair.
That is the taste of Scotland, but would you eat an all-day breakfast that had been sent in the Royal Mail?
It depends what manufacturer it was. If it was like...
It was a Malcolm Allen stuff, but regardless, mate, it's still meat that's been in an envelope for either 1 or 3 days.
I'm just pulling your plunger. I would not touch it.
Yeah.
I would drink the Buckfast.
Yeah, so...
For those of you unaware, Buckfast is a Devonshire bottled fortified wine with more caffeine in it than like 3 Red Bulls. It's known as Wreck the Hoose Juice or Commotion Potion, and with good reason. If you've seen people drink like dragon soup and be fucked up, Buckfast is like a different level. It's scary at times. Some people handle it really well. Some people just end up...
I handle it well. My wife shits herself.
Happens.
There's a video somewhere of me and Sean Baxter drinking Buckfast.
Good old Sean.
I'm turning into Sean with these dodgy shirts.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know I won't be sharing this for a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to finish up, like on that as a concept, I think any form of elitism is a shame. Like this idea that all modelers are shit.
They're not.
It's just not true. And in a blind test, you are not telling the difference between an amp and an Axe FX3 or a Kemper. No. And that's not opinion. That's something that has been demonstrated time and time and time again. Sure, some people can tell the difference, but they don't have a 100% hit ratio on it, and tested across a wide pool of people, the results vary so dramatically that you cannot ever come to a scientific conclusion that people can tell the difference between modelers and a genuine amp.
And I would say, more importantly, that doesn't make them sound bad, whether they sound different or not. Modelers can, and most often, sound fucking great. That's all that needs to be said.
I love my Line 6 pod bean. Sounds, put the old tread plate model on that. Sounds fantastic.
Get your atomic active FRFR cab with the tubes in it, but slots in the top. It's got that nice wee cut out for it, the right shape. There you go. By the way, they were onto something well earlier than everyone else. You think about the amount of companies that are now selling FRFR cabs. Atomic had them 10 years ago, and for some reason, they were just ahead of their time.
It just didn't take off in the way that
it should have.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Martin Miller had one,
especially with it being like valve-driven power amp, but flat response, full range. Like it's the best of both worlds. In my opinion.
Just to kind of remind us why we brought that up, it's just because the quote Joe has was, "I have always loved the look and sound of black 355 guitars." What do you mean sound of a black guitar? Shut up. Shut up, you pleb.
I can imagine him just sitting in his room like, is that black 355?
Oh no, it's grey.
Stacey, turn the TV off. Shh. It's definitely a black 355. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. It's got that black 355 tone you only get with that black 355 guitar, you know.
Yeah. But black 355 where the paint was manufactured in 1982, not 1974. Totally different paint. Terrible tone.
You're right, and the
clouds up the mids.
Oh, tell me about it. I have this one guitar where the embossed the serial number rather than just stamping it on, and honestly, it's so shrill.
Just tone ruiners. There's a YouTube guy that I've just recently been watching a few videos. I don't tend to watch a lot of guitar related stuff on YouTube. I like to go on YouTube to get away from the work type thing, so I can't tell you what his name is, but if I search through my history I'm sure I'll be able to find it. Point is, he's been uploading a bunch of really interesting videos just recently on things like, does the weight of your guitar affect tone? And he literally took a guitar and gradually sawed all the bits off it until it was literally just the bridge and the neck, like with the pickups, and had recorded all these tests, and it wasn't making any difference to the tone. I would say no difference to the sustain, nothing.
Oh, that's fair enough, but I think that's more than just the weight, which in fact probably makes his argument even better, because that's also changing the size of the guitar, the shape of the guitar, and how it should realistically resonate.
Yep.
But that's a really cool
It wasn't
thing.
killing sustain at all.
Just didn't change.
No, because as anyone that's really looked into this stuff can tell you, your pickups are the most important part of your tone. They will. It's not 100%, but we're talking like 90% of your tone is coming from the pickups you put in your guitar. You want a dramatic difference in the change in the tone of your guitar, you change the pickups. You could buy a cheap Mexican Telecaster and replace every single part of it apart from the pickups, and it is not going to sound a whole lot better. But you take a Mexican Telecaster, take those pickups out of it and put some high quality pickups in it. Spoilers, that guitar behind you is a Mexican Telecaster that I took out and put the Joe Barden pickups in. They sound great.
That's a phenomenal guitar. Yeah. Phenomenal guitar.
Joe, stop being a fanny and go back to playing blues. I like it when you play like proper, authentic Danny Gatton style blues. Man, he's so good at it. Yeah. Let's not jump onto that next thing. Let's because for some reason I didn't put this in here.
Oh, I think I missed this one. Marty Friedman is interested in joining a new band. Says idea of supergroup appeals to him a lot.
This could be a fun one in the comments, right? So before we talk about this, guys, drop a comment below either with your ideal supergroup that features Marty Friedman on guitar, or what you're probably more likely to conclude, your ideal supergroup that won't feature Marty Friedman on guitar because there's someone else you'd rather have in the band. Yeah, let us know and we will talk about this. So this was via Blabbermouth. Go on, you do the reading.
That sounds great to like follow up on those comments. Sorry. So the guitarist, during a recent appearance on Sirius XM, Marty Friedman was asked if he'd be interested in forming a new band or joining an existing one. The guitarist replied, "Well, I do see my band as definitely a band. What? Well, I do see my band as definitely a band vibe. So doing my solo stuff is certainly being in a band. Alright, okay. My band is a band, but my solo stuff is a band because there is a band playing the solo stuff with me.
Leave him alone. He lives in Japan. He's lost it a bit.
He lost it years and years ago. I remember watching, just going to go on a total tangent, Megadeth Behind the Music on like VH1 or something, and it's like, with metal you have to paint with these gunmetal grey colours and black and white. I like to paint with pinks and blues and greens. Like, you're playing guitar, mate. You're no fucking decorating a house. Behave.
Yeah, there was another story that I didn't want to bring in, where he said that
you didn't want to bring in, but
oh yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't make the connection, but now when you say this, and it ties in with what we just talked about with tone there and things, he talked about recording with Megadeth, and he said he was struggling to nail one of these solos. He absolutely couldn't play it, and then he picked up a guitar pick that Slash had given him, and then he nailed it in one take, and it was like the
I have the power. The pick of destiny.
Yeah.
Fucking shut up.
Guitar players, mate, they're the worst. We're the worst.
We are the worst. You're absolutely right. And you know the problem is, we're somehow attributed to art, and because all art is subjective, somehow these shitty opinions should be validated to some degree. No, they should not be respected and validated. If you say something stupid, you should be called stupid.
Yes.
And that includes me and you as well.
Yeah.
We both should be called out when we say stupid things.
I'm fine with that.
That's cool. That's a great thing.
It's really good because it makes you consider the things you say.
Yes. And not go right up inside your own asshole and believe your own hype.
You'll remember that in the last podcast, I said my most controversial thing ever in regards to what I would like to happen to those pro-life people that were outside there.
Yes.
Mind that?
Yes.
No one cared. That was one where afterwards I went, was that a bit much?
I mean, they're terrible people, so no.
Yeah. Apparently it wasn't too much. I say that actually, there was a Guitar Souls episode previously where I did edit out one of the things I said.
I remember. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
For those of you, no one knows. So
sometimes I get a bit carried away, and that was one where I was like, maybe not.
Just watch you back off a wee bit from the camera.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's not often I backpedal a little bit, but yeah, question us on things we say. Question any idiot when they say something stupid.
Question everything.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah,
Marty
sorry.
Friedman.
So Marty Friedman said, I have a band, it's a band, the band plays band things and I play solo things, but the band also are part of the band to play the solo stuff.
Cool.
To continue. But I would not rule out... Sorry?
Jump on to the next quote because that's the relevant bit.
Okay, sorry. So asked about teaming up with other established musicians to form a new supergroup is something that appeals to him. Marty replied, yes, it actually does appeal to me. It appeals to me a lot. And if the right situation were to arise, I would be jumping on it. There would have to be a reason for it. It would have to be something where I could really bring something to it that would make it worth doing, and I'd be way into it. I feel really bad because he's just like, oh, it sounds really good. I mean, it would have to be justified, but it'd be really good and I'd really enjoy it and I would bring so much to it, but it would need to be something that I could bring to it. Okay.
Just like he's posting the Gumtree ad via an interview. he's doing this, and in the back of his mind he's hoping that someone's going to send him an email and say, well, we were thinking about, but basically we were going to put Led Zeppelin back together, but Jimmy's not into it, so do you fancy it?
Oh man, can you imagine Marty Friedman's crazy bends over the top of like fucking, I don't know, Lemon Song or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, to continue the quote.
He'd fit right in on Dazed and Confused.
That's because he sounds dazed and confused.
Yeah.
I think a lot of great combinations of people can create new things that are better than the sum of the parts. I agree with that.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say. I can't speak English anymore. No comment.
Yeah.
When you put certain things together, they're better than parts separately. I'm into that. I'm into that in a big way.
Yeah. So...
Oh my god, he sounds like middle management.
Yeah.
Synergy. And I would be into any kind of collaborations like that. Band, whatever it is. I've done a whole lot of that in Japan, but not a whole lot of it outside of Japan. So I'd be into it.
Yeah, so he's into it. He's into it.
But only if he's into it.
Yeah. When I interviewed Marty, he was an absolute madman. An absolute madman that afterwards realised his band didn't have hair gel. So asked me if there'd be any way I could run to the shops to buy hair gel. So I went from interviewing Marty Friedman to essentially being his personal assistant.
I mean, for Marty Friedman, I think I would do it.
Oh yeah, I did.
Marty was one of my favourite guitarists forever growing up. Like, just to be fair, everybody that's played guitar in Megadeth, I've been like,
oh yeah.
And then you need to factor in that Marty was also in Cacophony as well, and
yeah,
that's the only way to put it. Is
yeah, great player. So yeah, supergroups. What are your thoughts?
I think they're often far off the mark, but they're a good idea, potentially.
What can we think of supergroups that are on the scene right now? And do any of them excite you? Sons of Apollo.
The idea does, the bands generally don't, and that's not out of badness. Actually, there's one kind of supergroup that, unfortunately, I don't really know where the rest of the band members come from, but I know it as a supergroup. Is... Fucking hell, their name has went right out of my fucking head. Mutoid Man. Mutoid Man.
I don't know who that is.
You've never heard of them. They're like a kind of... I don't even know how to describe them. Kind of crusty stoner doom metal band. But
Crusty,
it's
stoner,
really,
and doom. 3 words that I absolutely love.
Oh, Levi, the tunes are fucking dynamite. Like, really cool. Really hooky. 3-piece band. Super distorted, low as fuck bass. Like, 75 big giant Ampeg cabs. Just balls to the wall. Interesting guitar layers. Like a Pog. And a couple other, like, kind of distortions and fuzzies. And the drummer's just fucking nasty. Like, just in the pocket. It's the only way I can describe them. That's the only supergroup I can think of that do it for me, to be honest.
There's a long history of supergroups. You know, like, I think one of the first big ones that people would think of would be Cream.
Mm-hmm.
With their name literally being the cream of the crop. Like, they're supposed to be the best of the best individual players from their scenes. Though Jack Bruce was definitely not as big a name as Ginger Baker and Clapton were, but still, I struggle to think of supergroup when you think of those guys. But yeah, it's very popular at the moment. Yeah, Sons of Apollo and Winery Dogs, and actually I hear there's a new Flying Colours album coming out next year. But what you find is most supergroups tend to have Mike Portnoy in them.
Yes, that's quite a consistent thing.
Yeah. So could we think of a supergroup? Well, there we go. If we're looking for a supergroup for Mighty Freeman, Mike Portnoy would have to be in it. Not because we choose him, but because he wouldn't allow it to happen unless he was involved in it in some way.
He's like the patron saint of supergroups.
Yeah. So I saw on Twitter yesterday, actually, him and Petrucci were together for Christmas, and they posted a picture of them looking really happy. And
it's nice they're still friends. I like that.
Yeah, you know, Mike Mangini's sweating.
No offence to Mike Mangini, but have you saw the video of the newest Dream Theater song? The fuck is he doing?
Cymbals up here. Yeah.
Why? I mean, I've seen people do, like, Megadeth famously had a drum kit that had that kind of cymbal rack round it, like literally hanging round, but it was never like 95 feet in the air.
Yeah.
So to throw the stick and hope it would hit the cymbal. It's a recording
thing. It's so they can eliminate as much bleed from the snare mic as possible. Same with hi-hats. Like, if you look at in good studios, you want live, you're expecting your hi-hat and your snare to be like this, but if you can adapt your technique to have that distance like that in the studio, just get used to having your hi-hat a bit higher, you're going to eliminate a lot of that bleed on the snare.
See, to be fair, the only drummers I can think of who really do that and do it in a live context and setting are like R&B, hip-hop, or kind of punk drummers that put that into practice, and they're always very meticulous about their drum sound anyway, so that makes sense. On a side note, the snares that you generally get on R&B stuff are perfect for death metal. Nice pangy tight snare. Love it. Love it.
You familiar with that?
Yes. I think that was more so just Bobby Yarzenbeck being an absolute psychopath. For those who... no one can see it.
I'll bring it up.
Basically, it's... Oh, he's going to bring it up. So Bobby Yarzenbeck, if any of you know who Bobby and Ron Yarzenbeck of Spastic Inc., probably the two most talented brothers since the McLaughlins. But no, in all seriousness, man, Bobby Yarzenbeck is a monster in the drums, so inventive.
I just bring him up because he has cymbals behind his head. So
yeah,
watching him play and do his fills and then hit cymbals behind his head.
I don't think that's anything to do with eliminating noise, because I think there's like a room mic for this.
Yep.
But Jesus, what a fucking player, a monster. You also notice the absence of click track and ears.
That's what I'd like to hear, actually. I'd like to hear another Blotted Science.
Blotted Science? Oh, that would be...
Bobby's not in Blotted Science, but any more Ron,
was it Mike Z was the drummer?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure that was the chap's name in the first album. And you also had Alex Webster on bass. from Cannibal Corpse. Fucking incredible player.
We're not talking about Cannibal Corpse right now.
No, we're not. We're not. We don't like to speculate here.
Yeah, we'll leave
Guitar Souls.
That one's going to come. Don't worry. So why were we talking about all of this? Oh yeah, it was Mike Mangini and Portnoy and
crazy cymbal placement.
Yeah, but there was a reason we were talking about it. We've just gone like off into the weeds, but it's
fine because we're watching Bobby Yarzenbeck videos.
Yeah, that's what Guitar Souls is. We're living in the weeds. It was Marty Friedman, supergroups.
Yes, sorry, and we're also talking about. We went down the rabbit hole because we're talking about how Mike Portnoy has to be in every one that's ever happened.
So
was he not in one that was Yellow Matter Custard or something with Paul Gilbert?
Yes,
and was it Beatles stuff?
Yeah,
they did
Beatles. They did, and the Who.
Is that right? I never got into them. I never checked them out, but I remember hearing about them quite a lot when I was like pretty much obsessing over Gilbert. Mike Mangini's pretty good for being in quite.
They did a Zeppelin one as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
I can't think of a supergroup that I would want, because the whole excitement of a supergroup to me is these musicians I wouldn't expect together, blowing you out the water, and I can't think of any that have done that for me.
let's finish this up then. So
okay.
Marty Friedman's going to be in the band because that's what he wants, right?
Yes.
And we're accepting that the patron saint of supergroups, Mike Portnoy, he's obviously got to be on drums, right?
Yeah, he's the only man in the world
bass
that's got time.
Well, it's a difficult one to not say Billy Sheehan, because Billy Sheehan just appears on everything that Portnoy's involved on.
Yeah, Stu Ham could be there if he wanted to be.
Let's go Stu Ham. I've got some hilarious Stu Ham stories to tell you from Jack Gardner.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Who was it that played bass for Metalocalypse?
No idea.
On the Death Clock tours. He was on Guthrie Govan's album.
Guthrie Govan's album was his brother.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's not how I thought it was then. Okay.
Yeah, Seth Govan played on Heroic Cakes.
Well,
are you talking like Aristocrats? Is Brian Bella?
Brian Bella, that's who it was. Sorry, yeah, it wasn't on Erotic Cakes. But just while we're talking about Erotic Cakes, the bass playing on that is sublime. So fair play to you, Seth.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Brian Bella's probably a good shout, actually.
He's a really good bassist, and he's very versatile.
Yep. He plays bass on the Steve Vai Where the Wild Things Are live concert,
is that right?
Which is the one with the 2 violins, if memory serves me right. That's a really good concert.
I haven't watched any Steve Vai in a while.
Doug got that on Blu-ray, and we sat and watched it and was like, man, this is good. And he was like, yeah, do you want to come over again tomorrow and watch it again? I was like, yeah, I do. I'm not even really a Steve Vai fan, but yeah, I do.
Oh, like if you get a good instrumental musician, or even supergroup, or even just any music concert that's filmed right live and the production's right and it's just the night where it worked, you're going to watch it all the time, over and over and over and over and over and over. Sorry, so go back to supergroups. We've got Marty Friedman playing guitar.
You know who I'm going to say?
On drums.
Steve Harris.
That'd be interesting.
I think it fits in line with I think he'd bring something out of Portnoy that would make him play in a certain way. I'm not I should clarify. I'm not going for my ideal super band. I'm saying, what would be interesting to see Marty Friedman involved in.
Oh, right, okay. So who else would be interesting? Who's like the polar opposite of Marty Friedman when it comes to guitar? Chris Broderick. Marty's very expressive.
I don't want to hear Chris Broderick in anything.
No, neither do I, but you're talking about trying to put him out his comfort zone and make him do something different.
Yeah.
Marty's very expressive and loose with timing, and like vibrato's a bit strange, and even his picking technique's rather backwards. When you think of Chris Broderick, you think that's a man who's just sat and practiced all the time. Or maybe Jeff Loomis. Jeff Loomis brings a bit more human to his playing.
On something.
Sorry?
They've played together on one of Jeff's albums.
Oh,
I'm not saying that we can't have people that have played together.
Oh no, that's right. You're right. Marty Friedman did a guest solo in one of his songs.
Yeah, because I would
Chris
say
Poland also done a solo in fucking one of Jeff Loomis' albums on Continuum Drift, and that there's no doubt in my mind that's the last time they got recorded in that album. Because if Chris Poland had rocked up and played those 2 solos any time during the recording, other than the end, Jeff Loomis would have just been like, "Project delete. I can't beat that. Why am I doing this?"
Yeah. I would have said someone like Ronja Zombek. I thought that would be cool, but
I know a guy who actually thought his name was Ronja Zombek.
Good old Ronja. I should hit him up actually.
Big Andy Crombie, good on you, big man.
He's a friend of the channel as well. I should have him on again. We could probably get him on the show. But
Ron, get a rev.
I'd say Ron, but if I'm going with this mad rule that I've created in my mind, if they can't have played together before, he was Marty's rhythm guitar player on the Marty's DVD tour.
I'm just going to say, how the fuck does Ron Charzenbeck get a fucking rhythm guitar role? Yeah. I don't mean that with any disrespect to Marty Friedman or Ron, but Ron, you You are a phenomenal musician in your own league.
I'm just fascinated as to where that came from. Like,
True, that's
how
also...
did that connection happen?
Ron, you need to come on and tell us the
I
story.
should ask. Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
Ron.
Let's make that happen.
Please,
let's make
Ron.
that happen. I'll send
Please.
it back. Ron, I love Ron at this time of year actually because his family they have ferrets. They get ferrets as pets.
That's
so
cool.
He'll usually send out like Christmas cards with
Pictures of ferrets.
with him and the family dressed up as in Christmas outfits with the ferrets in their Christmas
That's cute.
outfits. So
That's you know what? That's quite a common thing in Scotland too. Ferrets and polecats.
Yeah. Okay.
Genuinely. Although I think it's probably more for hunting here than it is anything else.
I mean,
Which is strange.
you say like I've just moved to Scotland. Like, oh, it's very common here in Scotland. I mean, I've lived here for 5 years and I don't know anyone that owns a ferret.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know many people who do either, but I remember when I was growing up,
It was more popular.
in certain areas, yeah. Genuinely speaking, like if I went round to my grand's, or when my grand stays in that area, I could bump into a few people and ask about it, and genuinely I think I could get a ferret for someone. Not that I want to do that, because that sounds really weird, and if you take that out of context, it'll be even stranger. But, yes.
Yeah. So
Seem like cool pets. Quite high maintenance, but cool.
Yeah. Do I know someone that's had ferrets? I know a couple of people that have ferrets, but I don't have much experience with dealing with ferrets, to be completely honest with you.
No.
Yeah. So just to finish that up, tie that up. Portnoy, Steve Harris, Marty Friedman. Fuck it, he can just play solo guitar in the band. It'd just be him. We'd need someone on vocals, right? So let's say who would be ideal in that world? I mean, I really like Russell Allen of Symphony X fame. He's into his supergroups as well. Adrenaline Mob, not a supergroup.
Adrenaline Mob, is that
exactly.
George Lynch?
No. No, it's Mike Orlando on guitar. Yeah. So this one, yeah.
I would say Michael Bolton, frontman. Imagine Michael Bolton in a metal band. I can imagine it.
I'm sitting there and thinking, how have we not talked about like all these legends that have done metal albums or Christmas albums, like Christopher Lee?
Oh yeah, Charlemagne.
Yeah, he did too, actually, I believe.
Which is cool as fuck.
Yeah. Hairdress Ramos played guitar on one of them.
Not a metal album, but also a really strange combination of musicians together. Buckethead and Viggo Mortensen. Is it a piano and guitar and then spoken word album?
I'm just sitting there thinking Christmas albums. How have we not done this? What's your favourite Christmas album of all time?
Favorite Christmas album of all time? Die Hard soundtrack. Sorry, I don't. Generally speaking, I don't have any favourite Christmas stuff at all.
Yeah,
I'm weird that way. I think my favourite Christmas song is probably going to be Wham! Last Christmas. Or The Darkness.
I really like the Brad Paisley Christmas album.
I've never heard that.
It's good. It's good.
I mean, anything to do with Brad Paisley generally is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't
Motherfucker's talented.
I don't like cheesy Christmas music. I generally, up until the last couple of years, I don't like Christmas. I'm in much better spirits now for things like Christmas. So anything that reminds me of being
happy, yeah.
Anything that reminds me of being a child, like I don't like so old Christmas music. But the Brad Paisley album. The reason I bring this up is because you know what metal legend has a Christmas album? Rob Halford. Have you not heard Rob Halford's Christmas album?
No.
Oh,
I think I've heard of it, but I haven't heard it.
Oh my, We Three Kings. Oh my, it is. Well, I'll put it on when we finish this podcast because it's a delight. It's an absolute delight. God. Yeah. So Rob Halford, there you go. That would work. Marty Friedman, Steve Harris, Rob Halford, Mike Portnoy. I think you could call that a supergroup.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Those are all guys from like top tier bands.
Why?
Yeah. But could I think of a supergroup that I would like to see? No.
The problem I think with picking a supergroup, I would have about 8 guitarists.
Yeah.
I couldn't pick 2 that would be like, these are perfect. Like these guys need to be together.
Yeah. I'd just throw it would just be a fusion band of like all these just massively different styles.
In fact,
that just wouldn't work.
Do you know who I would have in my supergroup? See all the guitarists that play on that new Jason Becker track on the newest album.
I've not listened to it.
Levi.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's so good. We've got to listen to this after the podcast, and I'm going to have to recommend that you all go and check it out. There's about 15, maybe 20 guest solos on it, but it flows through each of the artists. Even Joe Bonamassa's on it, and you know what? It's fucking incredible, absolutely incredible. Some of the stuff on it's just
just showing how unprepared I am. I had a subject in mind that I thought would be cool to talk about, and it would require preparation. You'd have to think about this one. Favourite album of 2018?
Oh, favourite album of 2018?
I didn't think I'd listened to any music that had come out in 2018. And I'm not sure if this came out in 2018, so I'm going to have to check right now.
Is it going to be Tesseract, Sonder?
No.
That did come out this year.
No.
Great songs, not first in the production. Levi and I went to see Tesseract, and oh my god, a big kick in the willy. A big hard kick in the willy. So good, so good, so tight. Sounded incredible, crystal clear. Dan's vocals, man, Jesus.
Why are my tracks not coming up? Why can I not see what I listen to?
Because you're a bad man.
Oh, your library. There we go. Recently played. There we go. You'll see it. It's right there.
Top left?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. I actually only heard one track from it.
That's 2018? It is?
Yeah, it was, I?
Yep, 2018. My favourite album, Vector, Haken.
I've only heard The Good Doctor from it. And
smashing.
It's so good.
Smashing
You know what I love about The Good Doctor? All the references to previous songs. The clever little nods to things like Cockroach King.
Well, I told this story on a live stream, or maybe in my Patreon group just recently. My experience with Haken is they were in London and coming up in London when I just started my degree in London, and Charlie Griffiths is their guitar player.
Did he ever get his guitar back? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. And he was also in Lineosphere, who we talked about earlier in the podcast.
Really?
Yeah. So I know Charlie. He was one of my teachers at the institute. So I'd been to see Haken quite a few times, and it was when Aquarius came out.
I don't know that one.
So I'm sure it's called Aquarius.
I know Affinity, and I know. Yeah,
it's going right back. Like I think it's their first full-length album.
The Mountain.
Yeah,
that's
Aquarius. Which is 2010. Yeah, and they were great. They were really good, but it was heavy Dream Theater influence, and there was a lot of theatrical stuff going on, and I thought they were a bit cheesy.
Okay.
So after I moved away and wasn't seeing Charlie so much, like I hadn't listened to The Mountain or Affinity.
Oh, The Mountain and Affinity are amazing.
I'd not listened to any of their stuff, and it was like people were banging on about like the new Haken album. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's Charlie. I'll give it a listen. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Kick the dick off you.
Kick the dick right off me. I've had it on constantly. So that would be my pick of a 2018 album for anyone that's looking for.
Put it out to everyone else. Please leave your comments and let us know what your favourite albums are, and we can go over them. Yeah. We haven't done album club in a wee while, so it maybe be nice to blast off into next year and even take a few suggestions from that, and we'll just even do an episode playing catch up for it. That sound good to you?
Yeah.
Cool. I like that. It's so freeform. This it's avant-garde.
Yeah.
Avant-garde podcasting. Oh no! Don't put it on.
Right, let's close up with some comedy.
Oh, good lord!
Our final effort from the for the Guitar Souls this year. We talked about Tom Morello in the last episode and his masterclass. Well, someone else has just released a masterclass for masterclass.com. And,
Tom is. Nat. You can blank that if you want.
Yeah. Santana.
Carlos
so we're
Santana.
getting a vibe for the kind of people that Masterclass are sourcing for these types of things, and it actually makes me question if we look at the amazing filmmakers that they've got, or the amazing chefs that they've got, or like chess players, or whatever it happens to be, photographers. Are these people looked at on their scene the same way that we look at the people on the guitar scene that they're bringing in for these masterclasses? Does the idea of learning to cook from Gordon Ramsay, does that make a chef laugh? Do they look at that and go, that guy doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing? Because if we listen to this, it really gives the impression that this guy does not have a fucking clue what he's doing.
You know what? I want to defend that, but you're right. Like I can't argue against that. Like you need to see and hear it for yourself.
And then the horns, Lord. This, in a sense, check it out. You're having a conversation saying this, and then this one goes. So there's two people.
You know what I can tell you from my many years of teaching experience?
There's not two people. Up picks sound terrible.
Especially the people that are going to buy this. No, Carlos. You can't say, do you know what I mean? Because they don't. You can't just play stuff like that and just assume that people follow what you're doing, right? You have to show them. You have to slow it down, break it down, explain it to them so they can copy it. Because otherwise, they're literally just hearing you do stuff and going, oh, yeah, cool. I understand what you're talking about, but I can't do it because I don't know what you're doing there.
Can I object?
Yeah.
Please don't explain what you're doing and show people, Carlos. It sounds really bad. You're not only playing sloppily, but you're not muting the strings. You've got far too much distortion in your tone, and you uppick for every note almost, and it sounds fucking abysmal.
I mean, that's not even distortion, that's fuzz. Like, that's bit crushing levels of fuzz.
Is that... He's got a fucking axe effects behind him. Right, switch this off. Eric Johnson was right, modelers are shit.
Yeah, that was funny, but you know how I said that was the last thing we were going to look at?
Apparently not.
Where is it?
Oh, even more comedy.
So this was another request that we had on the Guitar Souls page. Someone asked us
a couple of questions.
What questions?
Big Joe Mitchell, shout out to Big Joe, was asking about highlights for Party Cannons year for me. Truthfully, man, like since I joined the band, everything's became a blur. But I can't think of any bad experiences I've had, which is quite a nice thing to be able to say. Don't be wrong, it's maybe a bit of a fucking cop-out answer, but genuinely, even the bad gigs are good stories, or the bad times are good stories. Like, I'm not going to say where in case I embarrass the person if they're listening, but we stayed in a house somewhere that was easily uninhabitable. Like, that's the only way I can put it. It's like no one should have been there. It was unsafe for human fucking habitation. Like, just mind-blowing. Or like driving for stupid amounts of fucking time and or shit going wrong. Even them, they're great times still. But for this year, probably Death Feast, and the reason I say that is the funniest review of the band I've ever read came from that, and it was in Dutch, so when you translate it, it doesn't come out great, but basically what they said is that the guitar tone sounds like marbles. It sounds like we're all playing different things, which is probably about right. But not only that oh my god. Our friend that we gifted the inflatable whale to for his birthday at the gig, for those who don't know, a good friend of ours came all the way from London to the gig, and we basically said, for your birthday we're going to make you crowd surf on this giant inflatable whale. Someone said that he was part of the band and that was all a setup just as a marketing ploy. Like, I mean, that would have been good, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
We don't really have the foresight or...
You know what he should have thrown at the end of that review? In my opinion.
Aye, right in there. It might have been to translate it through Google Translate, but it was the worst review I've ever had, but also the funniest I've ever read. I don't mind getting criticised, and I don't have any problem with people telling me things they think could be better, or things that weren't good, or things they weren't happy with. That's fine. That's how you should learn in music in general, or in life in general. Feedback is a great thing. Whether you agree with it or not, you should take it. But there wasn't any feedback. There was literally just, this was bad, pretty much in about 400 words. So that's my highlight. I mean, obviously, and playing fucking Death Feast open air was incredible. Did we get all the questions?
Yeah.
So
other silly ones, but someone asked us what were our thoughts on Shredders of Metal.
Banger TV.
Banger TV, yeah.
I mean, that's probably the most apt channel name I've ever heard.
That's a talent show featuring Alex Skolnick and two other guys, one from a band we've never heard of and one was the founder of Banger TV, which, you know, when that's the thing you brag about when your channel has, it's going to be huge, isn't it? 184,000 subs, that's not the worst.
That's not bad,
18.7 million views for the total, for the whole channel, so, yeah. But you also look at it and you go, cool, you do really well, but this video only ever got one upvote on Reddit and never got mentioned on Twitter. Like, it's not a huge reach. Anyway, so this is clips from their little talent show, and this is on the Speed Kills episode.
This is where they have to play the solo from Practice What You Preach by Testament. So having Alex Skolnick criticise and dissect your playing of one of his own solos is probably going to be one of the most nerve-wracking things. However,
played by somebody else.
Alex's face.
can you blame him?
I like that he sped up to 140 BPM. Mate, you weren't even fucking close at 100 BPM. What business have you got putting up to 140?
He wasn't even on the metronome.
Yeah.
I think that you're aware that you're missing a couple notes there, but it
couple?
was a valiant effort.
Mate, you didn't hit any of them.
He's taking a left that. Look at the jaw.
Come on, Junkie Richie Allen. You can do it.
Why do you think you can play that at 220 BPM when you
it.
can't do it
Also,
clean
you're the first
at
person
100?
to play the full progression thus far, not just focusing on the first half of the lick. I thought that was pretty cool, man. Great picking.
Thank you.
Don't be nice to him, he's bad.
BPM stands for beats per minute. Beats as in of a metronome. Don't be gross.
He's the closest. Totally lost it. That look on Alex's face. Absolutely love it.
My real question is why are they doing it at 220 BPM? Because that's not the speed of the song as far as I could tell.
Right?
You could even argue that this is predatory. Like, I don't believe for a second that these are the best guitar players that they could have sourced to participate in this as contestants. Obviously, it's probably the best they could source as judges. They're just trying to make these people look stupid for a show so we can laugh at them. So on the one hand, I laugh at the people that are playing guitar in the show, but I also really laugh and look down and cringe at the people that put this together. And at the end of it went, you know what, yeah, let's put this out.
Good job. Finally, we have a solid, slow version of this lick. As it got faster, it stayed solid. It got into breakneck speed that I don't even play this lick. Yeah, yeah, really nice job on it.
Thanks.
He just make it up as he goes.
You see, I don't know this lick, this solo. I don't, but that face, what a face to pause on it. What are you doing? I don't know it, so I can't make a reference. But what I have noticed is that the first example seemed to be trying to play some sort of string skippy thing, but still 16th notes. The next two were all 16th note runs. This guy's now playing like a triplet thing. What is that? That's how I feel right now.
Yeah. Do they think they're playing
dove
alright?
right in, like double time.
Yeah, that's...
For one thing. Which you didn't need to do. You just went...
You dove in double time, which you didn't need to do. No. Let me correct you, Alex. You dove in double time there, which you weren't capable of doing.
That, yeah, fair criticism. But I think he's trying to be nice to people. He doesn't want to crush their spirit when they're quite clearly not that competent.
Yeah.
Faster than you had, which made it, you know, even more of a challenge.
Incredibly
I
difficult.
think it was definitely a challenge to stay within the tempo.
It was a challenge to stay here at the table and watch.
It was a challenge for me not to poke my own eyes and ears
sort of
out with some sort of sharp
task.
object. Okay. Okay.
So accurate. Not
bad.
perfectly in time, but so the only one that has a
Clean
concept of not flawless, but I
worse.
couldn't play it like that. I couldn't play it that cleanly.
Passable.
So, yeah.
I wonder if I could.
I'll jump in because I'll be honest, I found this particular competition hard to judge because it's there or it's not. I think you've just shown us how it's meant to be done. To my ears, all around, really good job.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was all wrong. I'm kidding.
Well,
we're not interested in the elimination.
No.
But yeah, generally speaking, I can't see myself being able to make it through an entire episode of that, let alone an entire series of it.
No.
But thank you for the suggestion. I'm glad
Definitely.
that we got to laugh at it. And yeah, like I say, a bit predatory to me. I think it's a shame because when you look at like the Guitar Idol competitions and things, which are great. Showcases of people doing their, what they do.
There's some incredible players on those competitions too, incredible.
But music's not a competition, and I have been talking to a guy just, I say recently, actually. The last time we spoke about this was over a year ago. We have the intention of doing this. We talked about it via email, and it was putting together like an actual competition, speed level thing, like for all technical aspects, like how fast can you play three note string scale ascending and descending with all picking, and then measuring it with your legato, and then what happens when you're having to pick 2 notes per string, and just trying to be as really analytical and as detailed as possible, and test every one of your mechanics and see how you do overall on it, rather than just this idea of here's Flight of the Bumblebee played at 1000 BPM.
They're my favourite videos. You're not playing any notes there.
Yeah.
You're picking at an unfathomable rate and just not playing any real fucking intelligent notes.
Yep, mess. Cool. So let's end it there.
Yes.
But thank you very much, guys, for watching, for listening, and all that good stuff. As we said at the start of the show, we will do a competition. We will give away 2 Guitar Souls t-shirts. Well, we will buy 2 Guitar Souls t-shirts to you guys. So please do go on social media, share this video, leave us a comment below, let us know why you deserve to have a shirt with our faces on it. What we didn't say is whether or not we will be picking the best answer or randomly picking. What do you think?
We should do one of each if there's 2 t-shirts and 2 winners.
That is a good point. We will pick the best answer, and then we will also do a random selection of everyone else left. So you can get yourself a Guitar Souls t-shirt. Great way to support the channel. Big, huge thank you to Mike for... we've been doing this for like a year almost. Yeah.
We spoke about it for long enough and then just went, fuck it, let's do it one day. And yeah, we kept going. A big massive thank you to you, man. You do the majority of the work.
So, I mean... Yeah. It's enough work for you to show up, so.
You say that. You're a busy man.
Well, busy in my house though, so you're busy all over the damn country. You're in Wales today, right?
No, I wasn't in Wales. I didn't go that far. I was in Dundee, and then right up through from Dundee, pretty much across all the way to Aberfeldy, and then down through Perth, and then Lochgelly, Fife, Dunfermline.
Yep.
Round the fucking country.
It's Wales that organises it.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, you're very busy. You're all over the damn place. I'm not.
That's
so
right.
It's easy for me. Easy-ish. I'll edit this and this will go up tonight because I want you guys to have something cool for Christmas. Yeah, cool. So thank you very much for all the support, guys.
Absolutely.
Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, buy a t-shirt. Tell your friends about us. Tell your enemies about us. Make suggestions, and we will see you again in 2019.
Hopefully before then. No, I don't think so.
I mean, you can try. I'm happy to try and do it.
Let's do it.
What I'm banking on now is a fortnightly episode, because that's easier to aim for.
Okay.
Well, if we can get them in more regularly, that's fine by me.
If there's an insane public outcry by any miracle that people want it more often than that, then that's fine. If you want us to keep it in the current format, I can make the effort. It's not fucking impossible.
People will take it as and when they can get it, mate. People do like it, so
that's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad people enjoy it. It definitely makes it worthwhile, because you know yourself, sometimes you've got a lot on and you can think, do I have time for it right now, or am I better spent time doing this? But no, it's worth doing. It's a labour of love.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Good fun.
Thanks very much, guys, and until next time,
bye fuckers. Oh, and Merry Christmas.